There's a type of person who makes others deeply uncomfortable, not because they're aggressive or intimidating, but because they never break. You've seen them. The one who said they'd run every morning, and 6 months later, they're still running. While everyone else is sleeping in, making excuses, hitting snooze, they're out there, rain, snow, exhaustion, it doesn't matter. They simply don't stop. And people whisper about them. That's not healthy. That's extreme. Nobody can keep that up. But they do keep it up. And today, you're going to learn exactly how they do it. There's an ancient principle used by Spartan warriors that created the most disciplined fighting force in human history. They called it kathekon, the practice of absolute duty. And once you understand how to apply it to your life, you'll become someone others fear to compete against. But I need to warn you, this system will kill the version of yourself you're comfortable being. It requires you to execute a level of self-destruction that most people will never have the courage to face. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and comment below with the one area of your life where you're tired of being weak. This tells me you're serious about transformation, not just entertained by the idea of it. Let's begin. Meet David. Successful entrepreneur, great family, respected in his community, but he had a secret shame that ate at him every single day. He couldn't finish anything he started. Started a workout program, quit after 3 weeks. Promised to learn Spanish, downloaded the app, used it twice, forgot it existed. Committed to waking up early, lasted exactly 4 days before the alarm became his enemy again. The pattern was brutally predictable. Sunday night, iron determination. Monday morning, flawless execution. Tuesday, small compromises. Thursday, mental negotiations begin. Friday, complete collapse. And new promises for next week. David tried everything the internet promised would work. Motivation videos at 2 a.m., habit tracking apps with streaks and badges, vision boards, accountability groups. Nothing stuck. Because David was fighting an enemy he couldn't see, an enemy that lived inside his own neural pathways, an enemy that had been winning for his entire adult life. Until he discovered why Spartan warriors could march for days without food, fight without hesitation, and die without fear. And no, it wasn't some superhuman genetics. It was something far more accessible and far more terrifying.
In ancient Sparta, boys entered the agoge at age 7. From that moment forward, their entire existence operated on one principle: kathekon, absolute duty without exception. Here's what most people get wrong about Spartan discipline. They think it was about being tough, about gritting through pain, about motivating yourself to push harder. It was none of those things. It was about removing choice entirely. When a Spartan warrior stood in formation, the question, "Should I hold my position or run?" simply didn't exist in his consciousness. Not because he was brave, not because he wanted to be there, but because his identity had been reconstructed around a single truth. I am the line. The line does not break. Therefore, I do not break. The decision was made years before the battle ever began. Modern neuroscience has finally caught up to what the Spartans understood instinctively. Dr. Sarah Mitchell at Stanford's Behavioral Psychology Lab spent 8 years studying elite performers, Olympic athletes, Navy SEALs, concert pianists, and discovered something shocking. The difference between people who maintain discipline and people who break isn't willpower, it's identity architecture. Your brain has 2 operating systems. System 1, automatic, fast, effortless. System 2, conscious, slow, exhausting. Every time you rely on motivation or willpower, you're using System 2. And System 2 runs on a battery that drains fast. Elite performers don't use System 2 for their practice. They've moved their commitments into System 1. It's automatic. It's who they are. The question of whether to do it never even loads into consciousness. David realized he'd been fighting the wrong battle his entire life. He'd been trying to find better motivation when he needed to eliminate the need for motivation entirely. He made a decision that his friends thought was insane. He stood in front of his family, his business partners, and his closest friends, and he made a declaration. I am a person who trains every single day at 5:30 a.m. for 1 full year without a single exception. If I break this, I will donate $10,000 to a cause I hate and post my failure publicly. His wife thought he'd lost his mind. His business partner said he was being dramatic. His friends laughed it off. Perfect. He just made failure more painful than any workout could ever be. Enduring fuel, deciding what to do instead of just doing it. That's when he discovered the Spartan's second principle, taxis, perfect order. Spartan warriors didn't wake up and decide what to train that day. The schedule was carved in stone. Morning drills at dawn, weapons training at midday, wrestling at afternoon. Every day, same sequence, same intensity, no variation. Why? Because variation is where discipline dies. Every time you change what you're doing, your primitive brain interprets it as a new behavior. And new behaviors require new decisions. Decisions require willpower. Willpower depletes. David locked in his sequence. 5:30 a.m. alarm, cold shower, 50 push-ups, 20 pull-ups, 100 air squats, 20-minute run. Same order, same reps, same path, every single day. His friends said it was boring. His trainer said he needed more variety to confuse the muscles. They didn't understand that confusion was exactly what he was eliminating. Week 3, his mind revolted. This is stupid. You're not a machine. You need to mix things up or you'll plateau. Week 5, something shifted. He caught himself doing push-ups before he remembered deciding to start. His body was moving through the sequence automatically, like a program running in the background. By week 8, the negotiation voice was nearly silent. He would wake up and his feet would hit the floor before his conscious mind engaged. The sequence had become part of his operating system. But then week 11 brought a crisis nobody prepared him for.
His daughter got sick in the middle of the night. Hospital visit. Home at 4 a.m. Alarm at 5:30 a.m. 2 hours of sleep. Exhausted. Emotionally drained. This is where the old David died every single time. I'm exhausted. This is a valid excuse. Everyone would understand. I'll get back to it tomorrow. One missed day becomes 2. 2 becomes a week. A week becomes, I'll start fresh on Monday. Monday becomes, maybe this just isn't realistic. The gap is where your old identity crawls back in and reclaims you. But David had learned something from studying Spartan warriors that changed everything. They had a principle, snekia, continuity without gaps.
During the Battle of Thermopylae, Spartan warriors fought for 3 straight days. When they couldn't hold their shields anymore, they used their bodies. When their spears broke, they used their swords. When their swords broke, they used their hands. The fight continued. No gaps, no retreats. The practice must continue even in degraded form because continuity is more important than perfection. David did 5 push-ups in the hospital bathroom, 3 pull-ups on the stairwell railing, ran in place for 2 minutes in the parking lot. Nothing perfect, everything continuous. Day 11 remained unbroken. This is what separates the truly disciplined from the pretenders. Pretenders need perfect conditions. Warriors maintain continuity under any conditions. By month 4, David's practice was unshakable, but life kept testing him. Business emergency requiring an early flight, family visiting from another country, unexpected injury. Each obstacle was a potential gap, and he realized something crucial. You can't make good decisions in the moment of crisis. When you're stressed, exhausted, or emotionally compromised, your brain defaults to the path of least resistance. That's not weakness, that's biology. The prefrontal cortex shuts down under stress. The primitive brain takes over. Warriors don't make decisions in battle. They execute pre-made plans. David wrote down every single scenario that could break his sequence and predetermined his response. Travel day. Work out in the hotel room or airport. Injury. Modify movements, never skip. Sick. Reduce volume by 90%, maintain continuity. No equipment, body weight alternatives pre-selected. Extreme exhaustion, minimal viable practice already defined. When X happens, I do Y. No thinking, no negotiating, just execution. The power wasn't in the plans themselves. The power was in removing real-time decision-making from the equation. His brain knew that no matter what tomorrow brought, the practice would continue in some form. This certainty eliminated anxiety. It eliminated negotiation. It eliminated the gap.
Day 365 arrived, 1 full year without a single missed day. But something stranger had happened. David no longer felt proud of his discipline. He felt nothing toward it at all. It was simply what he did, like breathing or blinking. His coworkers started asking him, "How do you keep this up? Where do you find the motivation?" He realized they were asking the wrong question. He didn't find motivation. He didn't keep anything up. He simply was a person who trained every morning, the same way he was a person who brushed his teeth, who ate food, who breathed air. The practice had become so deeply embedded in his identity that not doing it felt stranger than doing it. This is the scariest level of discipline, not the discipline that requires effort, but the discipline that requires none. When your consistency becomes so automatic that others literally can't understand how you do it. They'll call you obsessive. They'll say it's not healthy. They'll tell you that you need balance. Let them. Their comfort with mediocrity is not your concern. You're not building discipline. You're killing the person you were and becoming someone new, someone unbreakable, someone who doesn't negotiate, doesn't compromise, doesn't create gaps. When people look at you with a mixture of admiration and fear, when they say that's not normal, you'll know you finally arrived. Because normal people get normal results, and you're not trying to be normal. You're trying to be inevitable. If this message hit you differently, subscribe and turn on notifications. Comment below with your public declaration. What's the one practice you'll commit to with 0 exceptions? Remember, the discipline that makes others uncomfortable is the only discipline worth having. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.